Welcome to Bitch Talk with Bitchcock. My name is Maliena Bitchcock, and I am so happy to announce that we have the one and only drag king, Edd Zackly.
Hey,
Hey, handsome, how you doing?
I'm feeling pretty great. I'm happy to be here. How you doing?
Oh, girl, I'm surviving the quarantine. How about you?
Doing my best. I've gotten a lot of cleaning done and a lot of naps. Can't complain.
Oh, and goodness, I just realized I called you girl too. Bad, Bitchcock, bad. I'm just gonna, instead of doing girl, I'm just gonna be like,
bro.
bro. Hey, bro. How you
Hey,
doing, bro?
It's all good. You call me whatever you want.
Oh my gosh, I love this look that you're doing today. Is it inspired by anything?
Yes, so this is Peter Quill, aka Star-Lord from Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. How you doing?
Ooh, so you're Chris Pratt, right?
I am Chris Pratt. You were
And
right.
guess what? You're the guardian of the galaxy, and I'm the galaxy. Are you ready to go all the way through me?
I am ready to go through all the black holes right now.
Ooh, I love a good black hole. Well, honey, we have so much tea to spill. I'm so happy that you're my first drag king that I get to interview.
I'm honored.
Oh my God, you're taking my virginity.
It's really, you're making me nervous. I don't know how to take all this glitz and glamour.
Oh, honey, you know what? You just have to absorb it all.
I'll do my best. I'll
Well,
always do.
let's definitely get into it. We have some lovely questions here, and then at the end, we're going to play a fantastic game called King or Swing. So,
Nice.
are you ready for the bitchcock?
I am 100% ready.
Yeah. So, oh my God, Edd, you know, I love your name because it reminds me of a cartoon from Cartoon Network when I was a kid called Edd, Edd, and Eddy.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Are you the fourth Edd?
You know what? I very well may be. And you know what? I totally watched that show and I was trying to decide how to spell my name. One D or two D's. I couldn't decide.
Oh my gosh, I love it so much. So, what inspired you to become a drag king?
So I was in a play over in Eugene, Actors Cabaret. We did Beauty and the Beast, super fun. And we would go over to Spectrum after the performances, and I kind of always wanted to get into drag. And one night there was a lip sync that audience members could do, and I got brave, did it once, and I never looked back. I had to do it more.
Yes, you know, and did you do it in drag for that lip sync?
For that first one, no, I was just a regular person, but I started officially doing drag at Lip Sync Extravaganza over at Spectrum on Thursdays.
So,
So
how
I
long? Oh, go ahead.
go you
Oh
go,
my
ma'am,
goodness, I love such a
ma'am.
gentleman. Gentleman, yes.
You
Oh my gosh. So, how long ago was that? And how long have you been doing drag since?
That was only maybe this past December, and I started officially doing drag in January.
You're a baby.
I am a baby. I'm a little baby.
Ah! I got a king and a baby all in the same interview. Oh, thank you, Jesus, or whoever else is up there. Oh, yes. Oh, so how's it feel to be fresh on the scene?
It's scary. It's scary because there really are no dead set rules unless someone comes up to you and says, "Hey, this is a dead set rule."
And then sometimes I still don't listen.
Yeah. But it's been great. It's been a lot of learning on the go.
I love that. And tell me a little bit about your drag style.
Well, as you can see, I do a lot of character work. I really enjoy playing up a character. I love making people laugh. I love being entertaining. I love being a goober. It's so
Oh, I
much
love
fun.
that. Now, do you tend to like dabble with comedy at all?
Um, yeah, I've thought about what if I did a like actual stand up someday. I'm just not quite there yet. I'm very good at physical comedy, so like a lot of that,
Oh
not a lot
gosh.
of talking.
Oh goodness, I thought you were having a seizure for a minute.
I might as well be. I mean, I did a routine as Mr. Bean, and maybe you saw that. So
Oh, I love that. I grew up with the Mr. Bean TV show and the movie, and
yeah,
and I always thought that his performances were brilliant
they really are because it's all physical comedy.
and
It's
very
it's
little spoken word at all.
uh-huh. And I mean, I'm the music usually is speaking the words for me, so I kind of got that covered.
So you like the characters. Now your style is very sexy, I've noticed, very like the boy I want to date. Um, do you? So tell me few of the characters that you like to do.
So I like being able to go off of a lot of internet memes as well. People really I like a lot of inside jokes. I don't know if you've seen that one Russian singer that sings like this. Have you heard of that?
No, I thought my butthole's the only thing that makes that noise.
Oh, long story short, he's this crazy Russian singer that he became an internet sensation, and he's from like the 90s, and I dressed up as him, went to go, full drag as him. People were coming up to me like, "Hey, you that one guy, the one Russian singer from the internet?" I'm like, "Yeah." So I love being fun characters that people never expect to see on a drag stage.
I love that. Now, does Ed ever get, like super masculine? So with us drag queens, we sometimes like to play with hyper feminism. Do you ever play with hyper masculinity?
Um, I do, but it's not so often. Like with a character like this, I do have to play into that because he's a hero. So, you got the cheekbones. I have to really make my face look like not my face, like Chris Pratt. I haven't really dabbled into the drawing abs on or anything like that. I'd like to though.
Well, these days the drag kings are actually buying bodysuits with that already airbrushed on it.
Oh yeah, but they're pricey.
Well, just get a knockoff from AliExpress. That's what I do.
That's where I get my stuff too.
So, bro, I love it. I love calling someone bro and not girl. This is so
Bro.
fantastic. Um, do you ever actually have to dabble with makeup yourself to get more masculine features?
Yeah, so if we do a close up, I really do have to contour my cheekbones, my nose too. My eyes, I have to make my lids like almost look slanted down, but most of the time, I'm looking at if I am playing up a character, I do look at the person for reference. And I am an artist, a graphic artist, and a painter, so it helps.
Ooh, I love that. And so, do you ever wear actual like facial hair or sideburns to give you the more masculine look too?
I've worn fake mustaches. I haven't gotten to the fake beards yet or eyebrows. But I would love to do it at some point, make it look even more real.
Ooh. So we've mentioned that you really do like to do characters. Now, some of the characters I've personally seen you do goes from like Freddie Mercury, from Guy Fieri, to even Elton John. Tell me a bit about where you get those inspirations and how you put those costumes together.
So I think about what's going to get people excited on a stage. I like doing things that people are going to recognize, especially songs. Oh yeah. I see you guarding that galaxy over there. But yeah, no, I really tried to think with the audience in mind. People that people will recognize and would enjoy seeing on stage. Like Freddie Mercury, such a showman. Elton John, such a showman, you know? So to try and barely glimpse walking in their shoes is just wonderful.
Well, and I noticed that you do a lot of celebrity lookalikes. Now, the one thing I really hope to see from you, and I hope that you do soon, is do you ever work with any cosplay where you actually bring to life any cartoon characters or maybe some TV show characters?
I have thought about it, but I'm in the market for some ideas though. If I feel like I got the right song and the right outfit, I have no problem throwing it together.
Ooh, I love it. And where do you usually get some of your outfits?
Well, if I have to be honest, Goodwill is my main man, honestly.
Honey, there's nothing wrong with shopping at the thrift stores.
I got
Yeah.
this one at the Goodwill on Delta, and it works.
Ooh. And I love a man in leather.
Oh, yeah, it makes me feel powerful. I feel good.
Ooh,
Oof.
do you like to feel powerful?
I do. I will admit when I'm in drag, I walk different. I sit different. I feel like I'm like stretching my arms out more, you know. I feel good. It feels nice.
I know that in real life you're a pretty fit person. Now, do you like to show off your muscles when you're Ed?
I don't usually. Just
Oh.
because I mean it's so nice of you to say I'm fit. It's so kind. Oh, that's so funny. Maybe because I'm wearing a lot of clothes that don't normally show my figure because I mean, if we're being honest, I am a woman portraying a man, so it is hard to hide some of those curves. So there's some give and take. You know, if I show something, I also have to be prepared to be like, mm, I gotta hide something else, you know. So not exactly, but you know what? If I had a six pack, or if if I had something like that, then yeah, I definitely would. We'll see where it goes.
You know, the one thing I do like about drag is that there's so many tips and secrets that you can do to kind of change your body and your appearance. And, you know, even though, like you said, you haven't quite learned how to paint the six pack, which I hope you do soon, because the one favorite thing I have from drag kings that they do on stage is they're singing and they're performing. And the next thing you know, they're lifting up their shirt and they have this just perfect six pack. And then you look
I
down at your own body as a regular Joe guy, and you're like, "What the fuck? How are they?" Oh, and it's that moment where we get to finally like envy the, and I love it because it's like it's how I feel like people look at me as a queen on stage myself is they look at me and be like, "Look how fucking beautiful she is." Now I look at you with the six pack and think, "God, I wish I had that."
Yeah, I would love to feel that. I mean, I do feel that a little bit with this character. This character was probably one of my first where I was dipping my toes in, hey, I'm going to be like an attractive man. Which actually brings me to is the this performance that I did was the very first time a girl came up to me with a dollar in her mouth. I was really excited, and this is actually something I messed up on stage. I was like, oh my gosh, someone doesn't just think I'm funny, they think I'm attractive. And I went to go grab it, and I missed, and the dollar dropped, and everyone was just like, oh man,
Oh
you
no.
ruined it, man. So I'm like, maybe I'm not fit to be be attractive, but I'd love to do the abs and everything at some point. It would be really fun.
So I'm a person that likes to do drag to get attention. I love attention. Now, do you like getting all that special attention by the ladies, or maybe even some of the gentlemen out there that just kind of appreciate the beauty that you portray as Ed?
I do, but I think it also stems from I just love entertaining. I love being on stage. I get such a rush, and um, especially from the shows that I've had, everyone, all genders, all shapes, all sizes, even if it's their first time going to the show, they're just happy to see me, and that's what I really appreciate. People who've maybe never met me before are just so excited to get me on stage and see what I'm gonna do. So yeah, I live for it. I really do enjoy it.
Well, I love that. You know, even the first time I met you, and I actually came backstage and I was putting my stuff away, and we introduced each other, but I could tell instantly that you had a level of high production and a level of detail that I really appreciated. So
Aw.
I really love that. Well, going into that, and speaking of details of costumes and stuff, let's say there's a magic thrift store in the sky where you could have anything in there, and it's free. It's free because we're poor.
Thank you.
Um, and let's say you could pick anything that would elevate your drag. What would you want?
Just one thing, or do I get multiple?
Well, girl, I love multiples.
Okay, well, we have to say, I'd love to have that suit that actually has like the pecs and the abs and stuff. That'd be great. I do have to admit, I still don't have my very own binder. They're expensive.
Oh, what do you
So
use?
I use multiple sports bras, which is not healthy, and it actually inhibits my breathing a little bit. But there's binding is a little bit harder to do, and one of the safest ways is either this way, which is still not that safe, or you get a binder. But they're expensive. I would prefer it not be from Goodwill and it actually be brand new.
Well,
But at some point, one of those.
excuse me. And I do know of quite a few kings. Have you ever tried like using ace bandage? I've heard that's something that can sometimes work.
Not recommended, believe it or not. It is
Really?
not recommended. It actually as well inhibits your breathing. And the problem with ace bandages, yeah, I know, blow your mind, right? Because I almost did it. And one of my roommates actually wears a binder sometimes, and they have experience, and they said, please don't use the ace bandages because it actually, once you take it off, it could damage like your rib cage. So they suggest try not to do that. I've seen people do it, but not the safest route.
Well,
So
I'm happy that you're sharing that tea because I mean I know a lot of kings that put themselves through that with thinking that's what they have to do to get their body shape. So kings, if you're watching this now, no to the ace bandage for
no
binding.
ace bandages. No ace bandages.
Oh my gosh. So tell me a little bit more that what
Very
you
bad.
may want to elevate your drag.
So there's these things that I really want. I think they look so cool, and they go on your shoulders, and they're like, I've seen Elton John wear them. They're like feathers, you know, and they come out like this. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
They're really cool. They're basically like almost shoulder pads that have feathers that like come out through the shoulders, and they look so cool. You can get them on Amazon. I just haven't bought them because money. But I'd really love something like that. I want some flashy drag king stuff. I have a lot of basic guy clothes. That's the unfortunate part about drag king wear, is that there's not a lot of eccentric, fun stuff for men, in my opinion.
Well, I agree with you because that's one reason I like drag is because I feel like female clothing gives you so much options to be more flamboyant. Now, I would say this day and age, like in 2019, 2020, a lot of clothing has come out for like stage wear for men. So there's a lot of like sequin coats.
True.
One thing I could actually see Ed doing, and I don't know, you might get mad at me for saying this, is I would love to see you do a pair of rip-away pants.
Oh my gosh, I want to do that so bad. I actually
Yeah.
want to do that. I thought about doing a layering set where it wasn't just pants. I would have like maybe sunglasses under sunglasses or something like that. Just like a whole set where things kept coming off and there was stuff underneath and you just keep peeling it away. Oh, that'd be so much fun.
So, one thing I was just thinking with you talking about layers and the sunglasses, it kind of reminded me of, again, don't get mad at me, like the male strippers now that put on shows for like ladies night, like Chip and Dale's. Do you ever want to do performances? Because like you said drag gives you a confidence, you like being sexy on stage. Would you ever do a male striptease on stage?
I personally, and you saying don't get mad at me, I will not. I personally don't know if I would actually go that far because one of the reasons that I wanted to be a drag king is I really wanted to break away from being over-sexualized as a female. Because me doing theater, and I grew up doing theater, I got kind of tired of being, oh, that girl is trying to be funny on stage. Oh, they have to do the sexy routine, and so I would always be like, give me a male role, like I can do it, I can be buff, I can be confident, I don't have to be sexy or cute or whatever. And drag gave me the freedom to be funny and confident and just whatever I wanted to be without it being, oh, that's just a girl trying to be this. So I do like getting into being hot or like a ladies man type character, not necessarily going fully taking off on my clothes, because I love playing up being someone who doesn't have to take off their clothes to entertain all the time, so.
Well, you have to forgive me. I have a queen that taking off her clothes is her number one talent. Oh no.
One of the things that I like about my drag, though, I don't have to rely on it. So, but right. I could if I wanted to. I could, but
I wouldn't mind seeing a little skin. Like I said, a little peek at the six pack.
I 100% get it. 100%.
Well, I love it. And so let's see here. So let's talk about a little bit about your performances. So I know that you're one heck of a performer. Why don't you tell me a little bit about the prep and the rehearsals that you put into actually your performances?
Yeah, so performances for me, because I've done one real big drag show, and then it's just been lots of prep for lip sync nights, which, as you maybe you've heard, are every Thursday. So it usually goes something like this. I find a song I want to do, don't know all the words, listen to it on repeat until I want to die. And then I have to actually ask my roommates very kindly if I can use their bedroom to practice in, because they have the type of closet that's like all mirror. And so I'm like, yeah, so I'm like, okay, I can practice in there. Try to have, oh, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, it reminds me of a kind of a secret that I do, but that's not as nice as the mirrors that you use. At nighttime when I'm rehearsing, I'll come to my kitchen and we have a sliding glass door. And when it's dark, the sliding glass door is reflective. So I'll either come in and perform in front of the window, or sometimes even in like half drag. Now, the scary thing about doing that is once in a while there'll be a person walking by the backyard as I'm doing things, and I'm in my dresses, and it's funny because they'll start walking slow, they'll look over and they get really quick as they're walking by.
Oh my, I don't trust like that. As much as I like big windows, I can't stand houses that are all windows, because at night you can't see what's out there. I do applaud you for making that dual purpose, window and mirror.
Bitch, when you're poor and you can't afford mirrors, you work with what you got.
There you go.
Oh my gosh, and I can't call you bitch. Oh my god, this is so weird. I'm sorry. I'm like,
no. Okay. Let me also say this, because people do wonder, what are my pronouns? People freak out. They're like, what are my pronouns? What can I call you? What can I call you? I have no problem. Call me anything.
Ooh, don't call me anything. I don't want to be late for dinner.
Oh boy, what? Oh, Oh, you're one of those.
Well, or late for sex. I mean, shit. If you're late for sex, you're really gonna miss out on the good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's dessert right there.
So tell me a little bit what inspires you and inspires some of your performances.
Um, I really like 80s tributes a lot. I love a lot of David Bowie, Queen, obviously, Elton John. I've been, and as well as some other stuff like Cars by Gary Newman. Do you know that song?
No.
Here in my car, I feel safest of all. I can lock all my doors. You've seen that?
Uh-uh.
All you need to know is that I have a great idea for that. Do you know what those blow up things are outside of car sales places? You know,
Oh,
things
the
that go.
things that go.
Yes, I'm gonna definitely have to dress up as one of those at some point.
Oh, do
It's
it.
gonna it has to happen.
Oh, I love that. And well, tell me, so you just talked a little bit about that. Now, besides the little crazy blow up guy,
Yeah.
tell me about a performance. If you have the ideal costumes and the ideal practice time, tell me a performance that you really, really want to do in the near future.
Ooh. Gosh, there's so many. There's so many, but I also have to think, if I really don't have, like, money is not a problem. Dang. So difficult, so difficult. I feel like I'd want one with lots of costume changes because I don't get to have those very often. So I'd really like that. Do you know the song Danny California?
No, I have to
Red
be
Hot Chili
honest. I
Peppers?
don't listen to a lot of male music.
That's okay. Honestly, it's hard for me to think right now. I think I'd still feel like I'd be doing some sort of tribute to the 80s. So if I could do a David Bowie song, like as full Ziggy Stardust with like the whole getup, that would be wonderful. But again, money.
But, and we're in a day and age, especially right now, where gigs are being canceled. So people who were relying on that income from either gigs or those tips, lost that. And I
Yeah.
admire you for keep going and just doing with what you have. And I will say, this is a great segue for me to say that Edd Zackly's Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal information will be in the description. So if you would like to tip them for spilling all the tea and talking a little bit about being a drag king, it's going to be highly appreciated. Again, these are tough times. And, I get it. We don't all have money, but the one thing I will say is most of these videos get 200 to 300 views. If each one of those views donated $1 to each of the people interviewing, I mean, we can have $100 to $300. So even every dollar counts, boys and girls.
It does. And I will say that this show especially has shown some really great support for a lot of local performers. So I really appreciate you letting me coming on as well. And yeah, I think we're all just trying to get by and do our best right now. We rely on our audiences and we appreciate them a ton. So thank you for watching as well.
Well, and I appreciate you saying that. When everything started happening and shows started canceling, honestly, as much as I get concerned about finances and money, the big thing that scared me was my mental hit, because drag is such a mental outlet for me, and it's one way I deal with my mental health. And I know I actually witnessed half of my friends list who are performers almost have a mental breakdown when all the bars shut down, and I could tell that a lot of people were scared that they weren't going to have that outlet anymore. So to me, this seemed like the next best thing to do was do something where we can feature the community, talk about their different talents, because there's not a lot of performers that are exactly alike. So I really, you're my fourth guest, and I feel like I'm learning so much more than I have from any of my other guests, and I love it.
I'm glad. I think you're very much right. I think people either ambivert, so a mixture of introvert and extrovert, and the extroverts out there, or even just performers out there, this really did take a toll. It took a toll on me too. So having this opportunity and being able to reconnect is really great. So thank you.
Oh, of course, darling. So tell me a little bit what you love most about performing.
I think just like you said, it's a great outlet. It's it's honestly been really helpful for me because the past couple of years have been very, very difficult for me. Went through some really tough stuff. I hadn't been up on stage since like high school or at the beginning of college. I was terrified to go back onto a stage because I didn't think I felt worthy enough of people's attention. I felt guilty. And
Where did
so,
those feelings come from?
um, it was a mixture of some bad relationship stuff and some troubles with that, but also um, just my self-confidence going down, depression, anxiety, all that stuff hitting me at once. And so as I learned to cope with that, I realized that I missed being on stage. I missed doing theater. I missed performing. I missed the arts. And so it started with doing that play at Actors Cabaret, and then it transformed into, man, I've wanted to do drag for a long time. I don't know how to get into it, but I'm never going to do it if I don't just take a leap of faith and just start doing it. So I did it, and honestly, I haven't been happier. It has been so important for me.
Well, and I love that. Again, drag, I feel like drag brings a confidence that we don't know we even have before we start drag. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
when you put on what I call the armor, when you put on all the armor, it tends to make you feel strong, makes you feel powerful, it makes you feel really good about yourself.
Yeah. It's
And
been really helpful.
yeah, absolutely. And now, one thing I think we were dabbling with in our pre-interview is now you mentioned that you really love being a drag king. Have you ever considered maybe dabbling with the opposite and maybe going like hyper queen or go as a drag queen for a performance?
Yeah. So the plan wasn't ever to do it necessarily, but I have tried to dabble with the drag queen makeup and going all out with it, and I did give this said person a name. Her name is Anna Biotic, and I gave her an Instagram, and we'll see where we take her. Edd Zackly is definitely my main go-to person, my main man. But who knows? We might see some antibiotic in the future as well.
Oh my gosh. So if you don't mind me just dabbling and nosing a little bit,
Yeah, go ahead.
how will Anna be different than Ed?
Well, obviously Anna's is more female.
That's obvious.
She's yeah, there's that. There's definitely going to be, I want to still be kind of quirky and stuff, but there's so many great songs, and I don't know if you're like me. When you listen to music, you think of routines in your head. And do you ever do that?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, sorry,
And
you froze for a minute, so I was like,
oh no, you're fine. You can blame me being a Mac user. It's fine.
oh, I can't believe that you would use the dreaded Apple tools. I'm a
Yeah.
Galaxy girl here. Oh, obviously.
Oh yeah, I know, Galaxy Girl. Oh, look at you using. Oh wow, that was smooth. I do have to admit. Yeah, there's just some great I want to be extravagant. I want to be colorful and loud and stuff, and do some different style things than Ed. But we'll have to see how that develops and how that grows.
Would you consider going for more of a campy look, like with makeup like this, where it's very big, and kind of give like a loud, over the top, like strawberry shortcake character?
Oh, 100%. And that's actually kind of what I more want. I want to go all out. I think it would be fun.
Oh, I love that so much. So we're going to talk about in performances. I know with me, when I first started, you mentioned you're fresh on the scene, correct?
I am.
So when I first started, I had a few things that I called performance flops.
Yeah.
Now, few things that happened during my performance flops were my wig flew off, my tits fell out of my chest, I fell on my face. Have you had any performance flops in your history so far?
Well, I told you about the dollar falling out of my mouth. That wasn't very fun. I did have it was actually my debut drag performance, and I had a fake mustache that would just not stay on. And I was just pressing it so hard onto my face before going on stage, and it was not going to stick. So I owned it. I got up on stage, I ripped it off and threw it into the audience, and just had to keep on going.
Oh, bro, that's how you do it. You always just, if something's not going to work, you just make it over dramatic and get rid of it.
Yeah, just throw it away. We don't need it.
So, you've mentioned that you actually have theater background.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit how that theater background has helped you, and if you feel like it gives you a little bit of an advantage in drag.
I think it does a little bit. I think it's one of the reasons why my brand is so character driven, and why I really like to give it really 110% when I do it, like as much as I can give, you know. I think it helps me interact with the audience and be a little bit better with my stage presence, but I don't want to say it gives me the ultimate advantage, but I think it helps.
You know, honestly, when I went to school and into college, I majored in theater, and I feel like having that background in creating costumes and having that background of learning stage walking and learning how to perform on a stage, I felt like it gave me an advantage. And I mean, I would imagine it would give you the same advantage because I think, especially seeing you perform on stage, you don't just go out there and say, I'm going to lip sync a song. I think you think every moment that's going to happen throughout that song from start to finish, and you have it mapped out. And tell me a little bit about that process. Like when you're rehearsing and putting together a number, like how do you get inspired? Do you watch the original entertainer or what?
I do. I do watch videos of the original entertainer. I did a look that was inspired by Brendon Urie, but I was kind of just in a suit. But it had like a 1920s swing type beat to it. So I watched original 1920s and 30s swing dance moves, and I had to learn to do some swing, you know, whatever. But I made some of the best tips that night from working on that dance. So, I mean, it pays off. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of practicing that goes into it.
And that's something a lot of drag entertainers should really listen to is if the more work that you put into your performance, so let's say you choreograph a routine, even if it's simple choreography, I mean, it shows that you put work into your routine instead of just going out there and lip syncing.
Yeah.
Even when I'm doing my numbers, I do my best to say, okay, I'm going to do this kind of flourish right here, and I'm going to do a spin right here, and then I'm going to flip off the audience right here. And, you know, that I definitely understand. And I think that, I know, I'm a bad bitch.
No, I love it. I love it. Keep going. I love it.
Yeah. So, oh my gosh, I'm such a bad girl. Tell me a little bit about your best moment on stage so far.
I went all out and did Crocodile Rock by Elton John, and I pulled out from behind my back a crocodile puppet, and people lost their minds because they didn't expect it. Like I dressed as Elton John, I had the big glasses, and that was already a lot. But then to pull out the crocodile puppet for Crocodile Rock, people lost it. It was so much fun. I love doing weird, campy, and fun stuff like that. So it was a lot of fun.
Oh no, I love that. I think that's very creative. That's not something you see from a lot of performers. So I really like think that that's something a lot of people should look at and like, do I want to incorporate a prop, especially a prop that you can stick your fist in? That always sounds like a good time.
That's always good.
Oh my gosh. So talk to me a little bit about your experience so far as a drag king. Now, what do you have to do from start to finish to create Edd?
Well, it's a little different than how many people might see drag being made, because I don't have to, I'm not gluing down my eyebrows or anything. I think a lot of, drag queen makeup has gotten to the mainstream. There's now tutorials for it, but it took me a really long time to actually find good drag king tutorial makeup. So a lot of it has to be by me. Like I can't look at something I couldn't learn from someone. So a lot of the process is just kind of relying on my own knowledge. And so from start to finish for an idea, I have to go out shopping for the outfit. I have to try different things on. And as for getting ready, it honestly is like painting, and I am a painter, so it really is painting my face to look like someone else's face. And sometimes, depending on the look, it can take longer, it can take a shorter amount of time, and then of course there's the binding as well, which I always save for last because it hurts. So
Well, and one thing I even mentioned to you from doing the pre-interview to now is there's such a difference from the everyday you to Edd Zackly. Like the physical difference is just like, you look like a guy I would hit on Grindr.
I love it. Honestly, it's one of my favorite things to be confusing for people. It is so great. The first time that I was wearing a more masculine look and I walked into Spectrum, I was having gay guys come up to me like, oh, what? Like so confused. Like, what's it was great. I love it.
Would Edd ever go full formal, like bow tie, white,
Oh yeah,
black and white suits?
oh yeah.
James Bondish?
Ooh, smart. I would love to do a James Bond look. Oh yeah.
Oh yes. And can I be one of your Bond girls?
Please, we'll do a duet. It'll be great.
I'll be Pussy Galore.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Or wait, no, I got a better Bond girl name. Definity, a boy.
Oh my god.
Definity, a boy. Definitely a boy.
I love it. I love it.
Oh my goodness. So let's talk a little bit about drag. Now, for me, I know the moment I started drag, it was like an addiction. It consumed my whole life. So has drag consumed your life yet?
It really has. I mean, drag culture is already so much in the media already, and especially drag queen culture, I should say, with RuPaul's Drag Race having such popularity, and so many drag queens now becoming internet personalities. I think a lot of people are already consumed by it. So I did feel like I was already reaching that point, but the moment that I realized, oh my God, I could do this myself and really work at it. Yeah, it definitely did. My roommates probably got so tired of me talking about, hey guys, guess what song I do? It's my routine. Can I show my routine? I'm so excited. And yeah, they've seen me around in half drag so many times, so they know I'm consumed by it too.
Well, and I love that. Sorry if I gave you a funny face. Your crappy Apple technology was acting up again.
I'm sure it was, and that's how it goes.
Well, it can't possibly be my technology. I'm perfect.
Of course you are. Of course you are.
Oh my gosh, I love being a silly bitch. So, we've already kind of talked about confidence and, the confidence you get from drag. Now, do you feel like that's helped you in the dating world at all?
Not necessarily, because I'm not really in the market necessarily as well. I don't use drag as a means of trying to meet people and stuff, although it does give me that confidence, because I think especially this last year has been about me. Has been about finding confidence with me and being okay with me. And if someone thinks I'm more attractive, or I'm attracted to them because of how I perform, or a girl dressing as a guy, you know, that's kind of a plus. I'm very flattered. But if anything, I'm just happy that I can be okay with myself too.
Well, no, and I love that, you know, and I was just curious because I know it's funny because with my relationship I'm in now, I actually went through a lot of relationships where they judged my drag and they didn't necessarily like that I was a drag queen. And then I got into the current relationship where I actually he met Maliena before he actually met the boy underneath. And
Oh,
yeah, so it gave him, I felt like an advantage in our relationship because he already fell in love with the character that's this. And then
yeah.
if he's going to fall in love with the boy underneath too, it just means he's not going to hate this bitch.
Well, I think that's important because when drag becomes such a part of you, I mean, you want your partner to love all parts of you, you know? And I
Yeah.
think that's really important. I'm happy for you.
Yeah,
Yes.
we definitely have arguments among the menage a trois between Jamie, Maliena, and my boyfriend.
Yeah.
Sometimes he gets outvoted because there's two personalities on my end.
It happens. I feel like that sometimes too. I do have to admit.
Well, speaking of personalities, so let's talk about some inspirations that you look up to. Is there anyone in the drag king world that you actually really look up to?
Well, we talked about Spiky Van Dyke, which they really do elevate drag kingness. Like, wow, with they do that whole glitter beard and everything. It's just great.
Oh, I love how they do almost a flamboyant male character with the glitter and the mohawks, and they always use a lot of bright colors. And
Hmm.
I love that. Even with the drag king, I think anytime you can use glitter or color, do it.
Yes, I love it. I really do enjoy it too. And I like mixing those lines between, you know, a guy who can wear makeup and a guy who can be colorful and stuff like that. I love it.
Well, what do you think about like someone like Landon Sider, who is from Dragula season 3, who I think also has a mastery of drag kinging?
I'm not too familiar with them. I will definitely look them up. I know.
You
Oh,
bad, bad boy! Bad,
oh
bad,
no.
bad! Well, you should. So, Landon, if you don't watch Dragula, watch season 3 of Dragula because there's a fantastic drag king called Landon Sider.
Okay.
And he really knows what he's doing. He puts a mastery of being a drag king. And I know that they did, I believe it was like a Halloween look or something, but he did a leather daddy, a big bad wolf look. And I will
Wow.
say he turned every gay man who was watching that show on, including myself.
That's
He walked on that stage and we all went,
that's awesome. That's so great. I'll have to look it up. I will look it up
oh
100%
my
later.
gosh, you're such a bad boy not knowing
No,
Landon. I'm going
shame
to
on me.
spank you at the next show, but of course with consent. Yeah. So, you know, let's talk a little bit about what you go through as Ed. Now, do you find it working in the drag scene ever kind of rough?
It can be. It's a little nerve-wracking at first because especially when I got into my first show, I was so grateful that you were there, because you were nice to me right off the bat, which I did not expect. Drag queens they have very big personalities, at least for many of them that I've met. Fortunately, most of them that I've met have been very nice. They've been very accepting, but it's hard for me not to feel like I'm still the underdog and I need to get out of everyone's way. I do get really nervous about that. So
Right.
that's been the biggest thing, is just making sure I stay humble and I know my place, because I am a baby and I'm still learning.
No, and I totally understand that. And you know, I think that one thing you need to keep in mind is you're still learning and you're working with people and performers such as myself that have been on the scene for 15 years. Now, one thing I've learned in 15 years is you need to be nice to everyone. Anyone that's brave enough to want to come on stage and bring art to life using the power of drag, you should support them and you should really just be nice to them because, and I have that mentality and that way of thinking because I've been bullied way too many times, even in my own drag community, where people are like, you're not pretty enough, you're not skinny enough, you're not looking like a real girl. And, sometimes you just have to ignore what everyone else is saying and do what you want to do.
And I'm going to do my best to do it.
Yes. So we're going to get a little bit more into that in just a few minutes because I definitely want to dive in deep into the struggles of a drag king. But there are a few more things I'd like to know. So do you have any trade secrets or any advice for upcoming drag kings?
Well, I think you put it pretty well just now, where it's trust yourself, respect the people who have more tenure above you, and really just try and have fun. I think people might get caught up in, making sure they do everything perfect, but if you're giving it 110% and you are there to thrive and be alive and have fun, then I think that's super important because it like I said, it was difficult for me. I didn't know how well they were going to take Edd Zackly or if people were going to laugh, what people are going to think. But I noticed when I started thinking about that too much, I wasn't having fun anymore. I wasn't happy anymore. So the moment I was like, no, this is what I want to do. This is me. And I'm just going to go for it. That's when people really saw me shining.
And that's confidence right there. And I love to hear that you're realizing that because, again, you can do stuff to please other people, but it's not going to satisfy your art or why we're doing drag. But when you put aside what other people want from you and you just do your own thing, you're going to be so much happier. And honestly, you're going to feel so much satisfied when you go on stage.
Yeah, exactly. And 100%.
So, let's see here. Let me find out where I am. So let's talk about trade secrets also. So I mentioned I wanted a trade secret. Let's talk about how attaching like sideburns or beards. What kind of adhesive do you use to get that attached to your face?
Many people use spirit gum. Do you know what spirit gum is?
Yes. I use spirit gum for all kinds of things.
Yeah, spirit gum is usually the one for hair. It's also commonly used in theater. That's what I've had to use for my fake mustaches. It's what I should have used the night that my mustache fell off. It was because I put makeup down and I didn't put my mustache on until I was at the venue, which was a mistake. Should have put it on at home, kept it there, never taken it off. Should have done that. But we all learn from our mistakes, hopefully.
Absolutely. I've gone through more mistakes than I have wins. So, 15 years and I'm just becoming a polished drag queen.
I think you look polished for sure. We all have it.
I'm just proof that you can polish a turd.
Stop. Oh, God.
So tell me a little bit more why you're happy you have the character Edd Zackly in your life right now.
Sorry, can you repeat that? Why I'm happy?
Why you're happy that you have the character Edd Zackly.
Yeah, like I said, Ed has been a way for me to get back into believing in myself and performing again, and it kind of helped me be androgynous too. I like having an androgynous feel as well sometimes, and playing with gender and playing with kind of who I am has actually been helpful figuring out who I am, not just on stage but off stage. So I've really appreciated it.
Oh, great. And let's see here. So we've talked about masculinity. Let's see here. What do you do? So tell me what you love so much about drag.
You can be whatever you want. Anything, literally anything. I talked about how you could be an inflatable dude outside of a car dealership, and that's okay. Like, you can be absolutely anything. And if you give it 110%, like, that's what people want to see. And so I love that I have the freedom to be anything.
That's fantastic. Now, let's talk a little bit. Why you think it is important? Why, actually, not even think, why it is important to feature drag kings at drag shows.
I think it's super important to show inclusiveness to everybody, every shape and size. I also would think, like, even performers who are androgynous or maybe somewhere in the middle where they're not even a king or a queen, they're also important because now that we have drag queens really dominating the scene of drag culture, I think drag drag, I don't know if I said drag kings or queens, but queens are dominating culture, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, but kings kind of get left behind. I think the glitz and glamour and the beauty of the drag queen, that's what it gets people excited. But I really want to show that kings can be just as entertaining and put just as much work into them. And so yeah, no, I think it's important to show that we're all just working toward the same goal. We all want to entertain and put on something magnificent.
I think that is fantastic and very honest, you know, and including everyone is very important this day and age. And like you said, there's a lot of people that even teeter-totter between being a king or a queen who are just kind of, well, maybe kind of an in-between, where they just want to be neutral. And I don't think that we should put anyone in a box. We should just allow them to express themselves as they want. Even I'm thinking about getting a little androgynous sometime soon, just because
Yeah.
me myself, as I do a lot of hyper feminine, a lot of campy looks, I also like to play with the idea of feminism and what society thinks and feminism is. And I also like just kind of wear, that's why I like to sometimes wear short hair. And I kind of want to experiment with maybe doing some more with just boy chest, but like female face.
I
And
love
maybe experiment with a little more burlesque soon and kind of toy with that some. So I have some ideas too, girl. Boy,
I'm
boy,
either way is fine, bro.
boy toy. I just like calling you my boy toy. Oh my gosh. Ugh.
Careful.
So we talked about why it's important to have them. Do you feel like it can be a struggle for the drag king to actually get bookings in a world filled with queens?
I feel like it's definitely, it's 100% true. I will say that at the venue that I've been performing at the most, at Spectrum, they really do try to incorporate kings more and more into their shows. In fact, I was offered a slot in an all king drag show at one point, and of course Corona had to.
Oh,
I know you were so excited.
everything.
I know, but I mean, I've been very blessed being in this town and meeting people who have been ultimately very accepting and very willing to see what I have to offer and put me in shows. But I do think, you know, just because drag queens have such a presence and people are very expecting of it when they come to a drag show, I think it sometimes can be harder for kings. I know, I know, I cut out there. I saw you. Ultimately, I said yes. It can be a little bit difficult for kings just because people expect queens and they want that glamour. But I think slowly but surely we're seeing an uprise, uprise
Yeah,
of kings.
well, I think that's fantastic because I think we should have more drag kings in our community because honestly, I really enjoy a male performance, and I also enjoy the collaboration between a king and a queen because you get to see every like angle of it, and you kind of get to see an emotional connection between the two characters. And
Yeah.
you know, I will say this right now, Ed. I would love to collaborate with you and to do some sort of duet in the future. I think you're a fantastic entertainer. I think you put a lot of heart into your performances, and I think we should definitely do some sort of duet.
We better now. I gotta get some stiletto shoes though, because you are so much taller than me.
Well, I'm a tall bitch, and I will say that we could give you like a sexy pit bull look, and then I'll just go
Ooh,
for that Kesha look, yeah.
yeah, it's gonna happen. We're gonna make it work.
Yeah. So you mentioned that sometimes people more focus on the drag queens because they're more glitz and glamour. Do you feel like maybe people don't take drag kings as seriously when they come and perform at these shows?
I do think so. Not always, but I will, and I hate to make it about this, but again, unfortunately, I really do think part of it is them seeing, oh, biologically, that is a girl trying to be a man.
Like,
Sometimes it's a lot harder for us to pass. We're not as tall, maybe we don't have the muscle, maybe we can't get our voices as low, who knows? But who knows what it is. But I think if people can really put that aside and get rid of that ignorance that might be in the back of their mind and just realize that this is drag, this is a performance, and this person, whoever it is on stage, is giving their all, we can get rid of all those misconceptions.
and honestly, I am one of those people that truly believe that your gender or your sexuality or what genitalia that you have should not interfere with who you are as an entertainer. Now,
And
uh,
sexuality.
or sexuality, none of that. And in fact, I've worked with plenty of heterosexual drag queens. And, it should never get in the way of doing that art. And I'm sorry that people have kind of treated you that way because I think you're just as valuable as any of the drag queens in this town.
That, don't make, I'm a man, I can't cry.
There's no crying in drag. Sorry, I just recently watched A League of Their Own.
It's a great one. I love movie quotes. You are A-okay.
Yeah. So, how do you like working with some of the drag queens? Do you have any favorites?
Okay, well, I have to say you as well. Like I said, you were one of the first people to be nice to me, which I appreciate nonetheless. We both know Ava Rice. I love her to death. As well as Bonnie Rose. You know Bonnie. She's going to be on your show.
She's gonna be on Monday.
Yes, I'm very excited for her. I'll have to tune in. As well as Uranus the Fool. You hosted with her. She is so great, so
I
fun.
just love the smell of Uranus in the morning.
Honestly, I mean, Uranus, Saturn, I got all of them. I mean, you got all of them. You're wearing them. So.
Yes, my planets are gravitating.
I've met a lot of performers, but off the top of my head, those guys have been really great and really accepting of me. So it's been fun.
So do you feel like the drag queens and all the drag performers have been welcoming in the drag scene so far?
Oh yeah. People have been really, really welcoming. In fact, I think people are, I don't want to like toot my own horn or anything, but I think it's refreshing to see a performer like me because I really do try to bring something different to the stage and kind of be a breath of fresh air. So yeah, I think people were just excited to have me, and I'm completely grateful for it.
Oh, I love that. I love having a breath of fresh air, especially with me around when it's a breath of weed air all around. It's always smoke.
Stop.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I love making weed jokes, Hey.
Nothing wrong with that. We're in Oregon. Come
Oh
on.
my God, I love that Oregon is so pro marijuana. It's funny, like I'll show up to a show and I'll just smoke a bowl or anything before walking in, and everyone will be like, "Ooh, you smell like Oregon." I know, thank
Oh my
you.
gosh.
So
That's hilarious.
I'm gonna ask a little bit of a shady question, if you don't mind.
Oh, okay.
Ooh. Ooh.
Okay.
Has there been any queens that have been bitchy to you?
I haven't, okay. I wouldn't necessarily say that. I will say, oh, the tea is about to be spilled.
Do it.
I won't name names or whatever. I haven't had anyone like necessarily been straight up rude to me. No one's been like that. But I have already had. I did have a queen question my sexuality and who I was being a drag performer. And I'm like, well, I mean, I don't think you should ask those questions or assume those things just because I'm I'm performing, and I just didn't expect it from someone who is a queen. I don't know. I like to keep those things separate. I don't think just because you do drag, your sexuality is dead set, your gender is dead set. People, it's similar to how people think that drag performers and trans people are the same, and they're not, because one is a performance and one is a lifestyle and who they are.
It's who they are, yeah.
And so it did feel a bit rude, but we talked it over and kind of sorted it out. But I don't know, it was a bit abrupt, but other than that, I mean, people have been pretty darn accepting of who I am.
Well, and I'm sorry to hear that, and again, people are going to question things. And like we said earlier in the segment, your sexuality, your gender, and how you identify, that's none of anyone's fucking business just because you're coming to perform on a stage. I get it from a lot of older people. They feel like drag is a certain way, but it's 2020 people. We need to be open to anyone who wants to use the art of drag, and we need to accept it, because otherwise you're going to get left in the dust and no one's going to want to be your friend. Just saying.
Thank you.
Oh gosh, so we're getting close to the end, but I just have a few more questions and then we're going to play a little game.
Let's do it.
You want to play a game?
I'm ready to play.
Oh goodness. So, why do you think it is important right now for drag queens to become mainstream and to be seen on either television, TV shows, and reality TV shows?
I don't know if you said king or queen there.
I said king. I did say king.
You did. Okay. I just can't hear. Oh God, I think it's super important because people don't know we exist. I kid you not. I have met multiple people now where I get the courage to be like, oh, I'm a drag performer. I'm a drag king. And they go, what? A what? A queen?
Really?
No. Yes. I'm like, no, a king. And they're like, what does that mean? I'm like, I dress as a man and I perform as a man. They're like, oh, is that real? And I'm like, well, I'm telling you, it is right now. So there are plenty of people that don't know that we exist. Or if anything, not only do they not know that we exist, they think that it's some sort of joke or something. I don't know. I'm being dead serious. So to have us in the mainstream media is important. It's just as important as every race, ethnicity, every walk of life. Seeing yourself represented on screen or in the media is important. And so I'd love to see us out there more.
So right now, we do have a couple of outlets in reality television that allows drag performers to be seen. Now, two of those outlets, such as Dragula and Camp Wanakiki, have featured trans performers, drag king performers, and gender-neutral performers. Drag Race is still not on board with that yet. We haven't featured any kings, but let's say... I want to hear a little bit how that makes you feel, because I feel Drag Race should include drag kings, in my opinion, because it never says it's RuPaul's drag queen race. It says RuPaul's Drag Race. So do you feel that drag kings should be included in that competition?
I think they do, and I've actually, I recently saw a video of Trixie Mattel being asked, how would you feel if a woman was on Drag Race? And they said, I have no qualms with it. I have no problem with it, because drag is drag. It's what you put into it. It's your work and what you do. And so I'd love to see it. And, people can give the reasons why not. Maybe the differences in styles of drag and the the different challenges they'd have, maybe that have to change, who knows, but incorporating it shows that it is there, it is important, and that everybody is accepting of it. Only time will tell to see what happens, though.
No, and I understand. And you may not know this because you weren't quite familiar with Landon Sider when I mentioned him earlier. But Landon actually, sorry guys, spoiler alert if you have not watched season 3 of Dragula. Landon actually won season 3 of Dragula. He won.
Oh my God.
And, I think that proves a lot, especially in mainstream, that you don't need to be a queen to be successful. You can be any sort of a drag performer as long as you're putting the work into it and you're bringing quality to the stage. Because in the end, we're performers. People pay to see us in fancy costumes, put on fancy performances, and act like a fool.
And I love every second of it.
Yeah, so let's say that there is Spiky Van Dyke's Drag King race. Would you go on it?
Of course I would. 100%.
Do you think you would win?
I mean, I would hope that by the time that happens, I will have all my costumes in order and I will be ready to blow everyone's pants off. So, yes, I feel like I could.
You're ready to blow people's pants off.
Yeah, I'm about to rip them off like those rip-away pants you were talking about.
Yeah, stop it. You're making me come untucked.
Careful with that galaxy there.
Oh my gosh, my Uranus is showing. Okay, so who would you do? So let's say you were on a drag competition and they asked you to do a celebrity impersonation or snatch game. Who would you do as a male impersonation?
I think it would be hilarious to do Nicolas Cage. I think that would be so funny. I already have, do you want to hear my pickup line?
Yes!
I already have a pickup line for him. Be like, hey, I'm Nicolas Cage, and are you one of my movies? Because you're a national treasure.
Yeah! Oh, God, you would be so brilliant as Nicolas Cage. I love that.
It would be so much fun. I do like the big forehead and everything. I would have like I would be like pouring lemon juice on stuff and with tiny magnifying glasses, like trying to find the map.
That's so brilliant. Now, I've also seen by trolling you on Facebook that you also have quite a freaking fantastic impersonation of Guy Fieri.
Oh yeah, oh duh. Why don't I do Guy Fieri? I love him. Okay.
Really?
I love him. I love Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. I love the show. I love Guy Fieri. I love food. So I'd probably have to do that too. It's so much so that when I jump out to scare somebody, you know how most of the time you go boo or I go, hi, I'm Guy Fieri. We're rolling out, looking for America's greatest diners, drive-ins, and dives.
Do you know any of his catchphrases? Because doesn't he have like catchphrases like amp it up and stuff like that?
He does stuff like oh, the sauce is phenomenal, or he'll be like just how mom made it, or he'll be like get out of town, stuff like that, you know.
Oh my gosh, I would love to see you do a snatch game. I think that would be brilliant.
I would love that too, honestly. I'd love to do like if there was a way we could webcam with like multiple people for a snatch game, that would be really funny.
Well, well, my face just says it all whenever
I know, every time I know something happened because you're always like, what?
Well, I will say that we might have to look into doing like a virtual snatch game. Well, if things get, shut down for much longer, I might contact some girls and be like, who wants to put together some silly shit? Because I think that would be brilliant, honestly.
I think it would be hilarious. It would be so fun.
So, Ed, I have one last question before we go into our game, and then we're almost done. And I honestly think it might be the most important question of all.
Oh, okay.
how did you feel about your experience on Bitch Talk with Bitchcock?
It's been fantastic. You know, I miss getting in drag. I haven't gotten into drag since things have been shut down. It makes me realize just how much I miss it. And I really have to thank you again for inviting me on here. I'm very glad that people got to hear, I think, some important stuff about drag kings and about, you know, the questions that you had to ask. And I appreciate it. I love it.
Oh,
Thank you.
absolutely, honey. And I honestly agree with you with a lot we've said is I don't think there's been a huge appreciation for drag kings throughout the years, and I think that needs to freaking stop. I think we need
Yeah.
to appreciate all drag performers from women who do female drag, from women who do drag king, to any trans people who do drag, to anyone who does drag. We need not to judge them. We need to welcome them with open arms because honestly, who's going to understand you more than a person that wants to use an art form that you consider to be so sacred that most anyone that's in that drag, like if you work in a drag scene and you're familiar with people, they almost become a family. So,
Yeah.
and I would never want to judge someone or make someone feel bad because, or make them not feel part of that family just because they're not what we expect a drag performer to be, because that's bullshit. You should be
Yeah.
appreciated and loved for just who you are and what you bring to the stage. So I am going to say this. If you are a trans drag performer, you are a drag king, you're a non-binary performer, please hit me up at James Roberts on Facebook. I would love to learn a little more about you, talk to you on Bitch Talk with Bitchcock, and get a little more awareness out for you because you deserve it, loves. You deserve
Amen.
it. So, Ed, are you ready to play a game?
I'm ready. I'm ready to play.
Oh my God. So
So
I
ready.
created a game just for you. It is
I'm
called
honored. Oh my God.
King or Swing.
Ooh.
Yes.
Like
So what
swing.
we're going to do is we are going to name off some names of either celebrities or famous male icons. And
Mhm.
you are going to tell me if you would king and you would do an impersonation of them, or you would swing and say,
Yeah. No problem.
Okay, are you ready for it?
I'm ready. I'm so ready.
So
Lay it
the
on me.
first one is the bad boy, the original bad boy, Elvis.
I would, except I would have to make it extra, extra weird and silly. I think we've seen a lot of Elvis impersonations. It would have to be so extra.
Would you please do like a padded, like a fat old Elvis?
Yes, that's what I was gonna say.
Yes! I
Definitely.
love it.
He'd be like eating a peanut butter and banana sandwich or something.
Oh my God, that is fantastic. Okay, so our second one is Burt Reynolds.
Yeah, I would have to because I feel like the only way I'm gonna incorporate like the older audiences is if I relate to them, because that's definitely, I think we talked about, that's definitely like what our moms look to as attractive. So I'm already in the market for Tom Jones. So
Oh yeah, and I will say Burt Reynolds is one of the reason I love men with facial hairs. He was one of those original masculine men with the big mustache, and
yeah,
yeah,
can't go wrong with that. Okay, yeah, King
nice.
that for sure.
Well, perfect. So the third one is a little modern. He was
Okay.
on American Idol, and it's the one and only Adam Lambert.
I would king Adam Lambert for sure because I love that he's a masculine figure, but he wears like a lot of makeup, and I love that. I really want to do a look like that. King for sure.
Fantastic. Okay, so we're gonna go a little obscure for the
Okay.
fourth one. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Bart Simpson.
I think it would be really funny. I'd probably have to find a little skateboard, maybe a whiteboard, and like write things over and over again. I think it'd be fun. Yeah. How I'd pull that off, I have no idea, but I think it would be great. Yeah, King.
Oh my God, I love it. I cannot wait to see you perform as Bart Simpson. That would be fantastic.
Oh God, pressure's on.
Oh my God. Okay, so we're gonna go a little old school for number 5, and we have the original artsy one, Andy Warhol.
I love Andy Warhol. I would definitely do Andy Warhol. 100%. I would make it super weird and fun. We're gonna hit it like a disco and everything. It'd be so much fun.
Oh my God. So I would hope that you would give me like that classic commercial where you have like a Whopper and like
Yeah.
you're just eating a burger.
Just eating a burger. Yeah, with the glasses and everything. Just eating a burger.
Oh
Let's
God,
do
that'd
it.
be so hot. Nothing turns me on than like a big juicy piece of meat.
I'll give it to you.
So speaking of a big piece of meat, how about number 6, James Dean?
James Dean, I feel like I could do, but I feel like there's a lot of masculine or like pretty looking guys out there, and I don't really know if people would get what I'm doing if I did it. It would be a little bit harder to do. I'd have to find something really, really iconic that people could look at and be like, that's James Dean. Like, I want to make sure I do him justice, you know?
Bro, all you need to do is get a white shirt, have a cigarette pack rolled up into it, get your hair all curled up, and have a cigarette hanging out of your mouth and lean against a car. You're perfect.
There you go. Yeah, let me just drive my car into the bar.
We all do things. So let's get a little crazy for number 7. Do you like superheroes?
Do I like superheroes? Yeah.
So, would you king Wolverine?
100 freaking percent. How could I not be Wolverine? That's like the ultimate right there with the claws and everything, beefy chest and stuff, and like the white t-shirt. Oh, 100%. King for sure. Also, like Hugh Jackman. Who wouldn't want to be Hugh Jackman? Come on.
Who wouldn't want to do Hugh Jackman? That's what I want to know.
Actually, that's a better way to say it. 100.
Oh God, he makes me wondering what's going on down under.
He makes me wondering how he exists. Did you know he can sing too? Like, what's going on?
Have you seen The Greatest Showman? It was fantastic.
Yes. Insane. How? I don't think that should be allowed. God gave him too much stuff. They're like, yeah, make him pretty, give him all the talent, whatever.
I know, he's not even gay. How rude.
I know, that is rude.
Okay, so you did say yes on Wolverine. So I'm pretty sure that you're going to say king for the next one. He was the king of 80s. How about David Bowie?
Obviously, and there's so many looks I could do too. So definitely got a king, the king, David Bowie.
So question, speaking of king, would you ever consider doing David Bowie as Jareth, the Goblin King from the Labyrinth?
You just gave me the best idea ever. Yeah.
I think you should totally do it.
Oh my God. I could. I feel like I could get that wig. I could totally put that. It's happening. Just be ready. Just wait on my Instagram. When everything goes back together, it's happening 100%.
You hear them right now. We're inspiring them right now here on Bitch Talk with Bitchcock. I love it.
I'm so excited now.
So I don't know how you're going to feel about the next two. The last two might be swings. I'm hoping, because so far we've only got kinging. So let's see if we can get a swinger out of you or two. How about for number 9, Robin Thicke?
I'd have to say no. I'd have to swing on that. Like, I don't know. The only thing I know about Robin Thicke is Blurred Lines, and like, I don't know. It just doesn't. It doesn't feel Ed to me.
You know, honestly, I'm a child of the 80s, and I grew up with a little TV show called Growing Pains, which starred his dad, Alan Thicke,
Yeah.
and I had a crush on Alan, and I would say that Robin is like a young version of his dad, and like every time I see him on The Masked Singer, I'm just like,
So what you're saying is you want me to be him for you.
no, because, well, I mean, only if you had his body. No, I mean,
Cannot make those
and he has the
promises.
cutest little dimples, like when he smiles, it's so adorable.
Does he? I've never
Oh,
seen
yeah.
it. Now my search history is gonna be so weird. Robin Thicke dimples, and now I can't do that.
People are thinking I'm watching The Masked Singer for all the people in the costumes. No, I'm watching it for Robin Thicke.
Hey, at least you're honest about it.
Okay, baby, we have one more, so we have one swing. Let's see if we can get another king or another swing. The last one is Ozzy Osbourne.
Oh my God, definitely. Oh God, Ozzy Osbourne. Isn't he's from Kiss? No, that's Gene Simmons. Who's oh wait,
He's the one that bit
Sharon.
off the head of the bat.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever watched the Osbournes on MTV
Yes, I
from
have.
the 90s?
I have. Sorry, I was just getting them all confused. There's so many. Oh man, I feel like I'm in between here because if I say king, I would have to go all out. I would have to get a fake bat. I would have to get like fake blood and like do the whole kind of in the middle there. I don't know if I'd fully go there, but who knows?
I would love it. Well, Ed, I hate to tell you this, but you survived Bitch Talk with Bitchcock.
Oh my God. I cannot believe it. Man, it's one trip around the galaxy, that's for sure.
Well, that's for sure. And if you're lucky, I'll let you see my Uranus.
Woo! Oh God.
So,
we hear a
Ed,
star, it's getting hot.
hopefully everything lifts up with the country soon and bars start opening up and that we can start seeing a little more of you. Is there a way for people to follow you either on Facebook or Instagram?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram at Edd Zackly. That's with 2 D's.
You're a double D kind of guy, aren't you?
Yeah, I am a double D kind of guy. I can't lie. But yeah, you can find me on Instagram EDD Edd Zackly. And yeah, that's my main place that you'll see me, and I update people on what's going on. So yeah. That's it.
Well, perfect, guys. And, again, if you enjoyed this video, you really enjoyed the interview, please feel free to tip Ed through Venmo, PayPal, Cash App. And if you really enjoyed Bitch Talk with Bitchcock, please also tip me, Maliena Bitchcock. My Venmo and Cash App and PayPal is also in the description. Again, every dollar helps us just to survive everything that's going on right now. So, even if you donate $1, it is appreciated. Now, boys and girls, I'm very happy to say our next episode, episode 5, will be this Friday, and I will be interviewing the one and only Jacqueline St. Clair from Portland, Oregon. So I really hope that you tune in, and I definitely hope that you support this beautiful creature that's Edd Zackly.
Thank you. I appreciate it so much. Thanks for having me.
Oh, absolutely, Ed. Thank you again for coming on Bitch Talk with Bitchcock. And I'm really excited to let the world see the pleasure and the beauty of being a drag king. So, guys,
thank you.
Absolutely. And guys, thank you again for watching Bitch Talk with Bitchcock. I am your host, Maliena Bitchcock, and it is my honor. I love you all and have a fantastic night.